So I got some beeswax here that I'm going to use to wax down the skis that I made on the bottom to make them, they're going to also to seal and to make them more easier to handle in the snow. And what you need to do with the blocks of beeswax, and again I purchased this, and it's a big old block, it's almost a pound, is take a cheese grater like this and just grate the mess out of it. I like to grate the cheese versus cutting blocks. Grate the cheese. I like to grate the wax. Feels like cheese. Because then once you get it into your that form, that state, it's easier to measure out per pound or amount, per weight or per amount. And you just buy a grater, a cheese grater like this, and use it, dedicate it for that purpose. And I'm grating and grating and grating, and then what can happen is, you get a little bit of a pile like that. Now, I have to use some elbow grease and some muscles to get a lot more than what you're seeing here. But just as an example, I'm showing that. I've already grated quite a bit here for waxing skis. But for making medicinals and for other uses with beeswax, I suggest that you grate it first, and it's easier to measure. So I can go ahead and I can just add this little bit to the pile. And beeswax is very fragrant. If you don't have beeswax, paraffin is actually the preferred wax to use to wax skis and snowboards and stuff like that. But I'm trying to go, all natural, completely Aboriginal, and maybe the only thing that one can get, if you're brave enough, is beeswax from a wild beehive somewhere or something like that. So I want to use this natural material, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this natural material with tallow, which is beef or deer fat rendered down, and that will help also seal the bottom of the skis to make them for both to slide better and for better control. So I've got a metal container here, or a container, because I'm going to double boil this to help melt down the wax. And what I want to try to do, what I think I'm going to need to do, and I don't know, I've looked online for different formulas and stuff, and nothing's comes up. So I'm just going to think more 3-to-1. I don't want a whole lot of tallow, a whole lot of oil. So I just want a little bit, and this is freshly rendered tallow. From beef, which is beef suet in the supermarket. You can look it up. It's real cheap. It's like $2 for a package, and you can fry that up and melt it down. And then here's my beeswax. So it looks like I've got a cup, maybe a cup and a half here, and I'm just going to pour this in here. And then what I want to do is I want to take a pot full of water and put this metal container in the pot full of water that's going to boil over the stove, and it's going to render the beeswax down. So again, it's probably a little bit more than 3-to-1, but I want to wax the bottom of the skis more than I want to oil them. Okay. So this is my double boiler sort of solution or workaround. And again, as you can probably already see, that the wax is already starting to melt as the water heats up. And I've got this on high heat, and it's going to bubble and boil, and I'm just going to wait till everything melts down, and then I'm going to rub this on the bottom of the skis. Alright, so here's my skis. They have been treated with pine tar for at least 3 weeks. I had to wipe some excess off, but This is birch wood. This is birch, and this is the color that they get when they are treated with pine tar. You can use birch tar as well. And so I want to treat the bottom of these with the combination of beeswax and some tallow. Alright, so I've melted down the beeswax and the tallow here, and it's a mixture, and I'm trying to go as primitive or as natural as possible. Again, it's a metal container, so you know work with me here. It could be clay container, it could be any sort of natural container. The thing is I'm not going to buy any commercial wax to wax these, and so I'm going to try to seal the bottom that you can see has holes in them here in the skis that are essentially traction for the skis themselves. So I'm taking basically a food brush, and I'm just going to go smear this on. I'm going to smear it on the bottom, and you can see it's already cooling off. And I'll probably have to take a towel and kind of rub it in a little bit. But essentially, that's apparently what's done. Is the instructor, Mark Hansen, that taught me how to make these skis, suggested using a iron. I'm like, okay. But I don't have an iron right now, so I'm just going to smear this in and then rub it down, both of them.